हेलो एवरीवन, आई एम अभिषेक श्रीवास्तव। वेलकम टू माय चैनल। आज का ये पॉडकास्ट जो रहेगा वो सेल्फ पॉडकास्ट नहीं होगा। आज इस पॉडकास्ट पे गेस्ट आने वाले हैं। वो गेस्ट जो हैं उन्होंने कुछ बुक्स लिखी हैं, उनका खुद का एक प्लेटफॉर्म है जहाँ पे लोग बुक पब्लिश कर सकते हैं। सो ये सब बातें हम जानेंगे आज के गेस्ट से। सो लेट्स वेलकम नीलश्री दमानी येलुलकर। हाय नीलश्री मैम, हाउ आर यू?
Hello, I'm good, Abhishek. How are you?
आई एम डूइंग ग्रेट। आपसे आज ये पॉडकास्ट हो गया है, आई एम ग्लैड, क्योंकि ये बहुत टाइम से पेंडिंग था। बहुत सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन आपसे गैदर करनी है। सो या आई मीन, मैम आप अपने बारे में बताइए कि आपने ये जर्नी कैसे स्टार्ट करी। यू हैव रिटन लॉट ऑफ बुक्स और यू हैव अ प्लेटफॉर्म एज वेल, सो जस्ट जस्ट टेल मी अबाउट एवरीथिंग यू हैव डन।
Okay, so I am an engineer by profession, by qualification, you can say.
हम्म।
And I was even working, I have worked for corporates in past. But I got married, and then when I embraced motherhood, it was a time for me to take a break from my career. For the obvious reason that, I had to take care of my child.
एब्सोल्युटली।
uh, as priorities changed with time, I tried very hard to get back into corporate, but then the time gap became so much and so big that I found it hard to catch up. And then that's the time when my journey of juggling and exploring things began. Writing was never on the list, it was never the agenda. But I have explored many things, out of which this turned out to be good. And I won't say I waited for approval, but then this was something which was received very nicely by the readers.
ओके।
So it began with social media posts on Facebook, in closed community pehle to starting mein, which was only a dedicated community to women. Then seeing the response, I thought of expanding it to my dedicated Facebook page. Then it turned to books, then website, and now Arthropod is there. So yes, it is, I would say, a tough journey, a big journey, but then there's a lot more that is yet to happen. And I'm manifesting a lot, many things to happen in future. So
डेफिनेटली डेफिनेटली इट विल हैपन। तो आपने कुछ और एक्सप्लोर किया था बिफोर राइटिंग बुक्स? एनीथिंग
yes, a
स्पेसिफिक?
lot of things. So usually, being a woman, I tried reselling of clothes. I have done a lot of things, I'll tell you. I have tried for data entry jobs, work from home. I have tried for handwritten forms thing. So uh, the the thing is, when I started looking for switching, you know, taking out that title of homemaker from my head, the only thing was कि मुझे financially independent होना है.
हम्म।
But now it has changed. Now I have found myself newly in writing, and even though I don't earn as much as I would earn in corporate, I can't say I am financially independent right now also. But then there is a sense of confidence, there is a sense of satisfaction and content that I have got after writing, after expressing myself. So yes, this is what is making me happy, and I have decided to stick to it. I'm going to make my career in this only.
दैट इज व्हाट वी नीड एक्चुअली, द सेटिस्फैक्शन फ्रॉम व्हाटएवर यू आर डूइंग। आई मीन, अगर आप जॉब कर रहे हो और आप लैक्स में कमा भी रहे हो, इफ यू आर नॉट सेटिस्फाइड देन यू हैव टू थिंक अबाउट योर करियर। सो इट्स अ
It
गुड
was,
थिंग दैट यू हैव
so at
एक्सप्लोर्ड
that
दैट।
point of time, it was very hard for me to think. I knew that I wanted to. There was a conflict. So my head used to tell me that you have to be financially independent, but my heart was stuck with my baby. So it was a big conflict that I came out and sorted it out for myself. And now I have, developed some bonds that are helping me heal through the guilt of not working a full-time job. So
राइट राइट राइट, बट यू आर डूइंग ग्रेट जॉब। मैं आपके वीडियोस फॉलो करता हूँ, इंस्टाग्राम पे सब देखता हूँ, एंड यू आर डूइंग रियली अ ग्रेट जॉब। तो इससे मुझे आया कि आपने एक ऑथर पॉड करके एक प्लेटफॉर्म बनाया है जहाँ पे आई गेस जितने भी लोग बुक्स रीड करते हैं, लिखते हैं, तो उनके लिए बड़ा हेल्पफुल रहता है। कैन यू एक्सप्लेन अबाउट दिस ऑथर पॉड?
Yes, Arthropod is an e-magazine. It's a quarterly e-magazine which is free to read, and we release one edition every quarter, and we post it on our website. So wahan se people can read our past editions also, and the latest one is about to come, which will also be available to read. And Arthropod is again a product of my own struggles, I will say. I am a self-published author, and initially when I was told by my readers ki your content that you're writing on Facebook page is book worthy, so I laughed at that कि ये कैसे बुक में जा सकता है, ये तो एकदम कैजुअल सी पोस्ट मैंने लिख दी है, इसको कैसे कोई बुक में डालेगा. Then after getting a lot of feedbacks on the same lines, I thought of researching कि ये publishing क्या होता है, and how can I get my book published. अगर मैं published करवा लूँ तो फिर prints and copies और e-book कौन उसको सब उसको book form में presentable कौन बनाएगा, कैसे होगा. So after all the research, I was left with one option which I was finding suitable for me, was of self-publishing, because I was not in a phase that time. I did not have that mindset to wait for a traditional publisher to accept my manuscript and then take 1 year to work on it and then release it. I wanted to, prove it to myself that yes, I'm worthy of something. So the quickest option for me was self-publishing. Also, it would financially fit into my budget at that time. So I went for a self-publishing. First book I published, and I received a good response. And after that, in the same year, I ended up publishing 2 more books.
Wow.
But the thing is, this was very limited, जहां मैं अपने social circles में जो book के बारे में बात कर रही थी, it was only that area of people who knew about my books. And I wanted to create a dedicated space for authors, especially self-published authors, I would say, because when you go through a publishing house, they already take care of your promotion, PR and media and everything. But what about people like me who have limitations in their networking, who have limited scope of getting out of their houses to network with people. So I thought, why not make a dedicated space for authors जहाँ पे उनको ज़्यादा मेहनत मशक्कत कुछ करनी नहीं है. They just have to submit their contributions through emails, and then we design it into a magazine form and we release it every quarter. So right now also we are doing it. It's 1 year of completion. In April we released the 5th edition. Now it will be the 6th one. And then there are some author friends who came out and said, see, magazine and everything is fine, but we feel like we should be heard. हमारी आवाज भी किसी इंसान ने सुन के convince होके book खरीदनी चाहिए. So I said okay. Then I learned podcasting myself through a free workshop that happened, and in August last year I started Arthropod का ही extension podcast. So under the brand name Arthropod, I can say there are 2 extensions. One is e-magazine, one is podcast.
Wow, that's really nice. That's really nice. तो आपने अभी ऑथर पॉड में पॉडकास्ट भी आपने स्टार्ट किए हुए हैं और प्लस ई मैगजीन भी चल रही है. ये कंसिस्टेंसी कैसे मेंटेन हुई, क्योंकि आप अगस्त से कर रहे हैं और अभी 1 साल ही होने वाला है इस चीज को. तो वो कंसिस्टेंसी मेंटेन कैसे हो रही है और माइंड को कैसे उतना पीसफुल रखते हैं इस चीज के लिए?
Mind is never peaceful. My mind is never peaceful. Whenever I'm off work, in my head I have ideas कि मुझे अब नया क्या introduce करना है, या फिर वैसे भी जब से Arthropod आया, my personal writings have taken a back seat, because this itself is such a big task कि personal writings जो रेट था कि 1 साल में 3 बुक्स आती थी, 2 साल में ऐसे हुआ कि 1 साल में 3 बुक आई है. बट अब वो नहीं हो पा रहा है. दैट इज ऑब्वियस, बट देयर इज अ डिफरेंट सेटिस्फैक्शन इन वर्किंग ऑन ऑर्थ्रोपॉड आल्सो. सो कंसिस्टेंसी मेंटेन इसलिए हुई है बिकॉज ये I do it with a lot of passion, first of all. So right now, even if July edition is about to come, I have my rest 3 upcoming editions ke cover stories sorted. Matlab people have already, showed their interest ki we will be interested in being the face of your magazine. So being like a magnet and, attracting same passion ke people together is something that keeps me going. कि हाँ चलो अभी next edition में people are already looking up to कि क्या आने वाला है. So that is something that keeps me on toes all the time. And consistency then comes with passion.
एब्सोल्युटली एब्सोल्युटली यू आर राइट. अगर आप पैशनेट हो अपने वर्क के लिए, देन कंसिस्टेंसी मेंटेन करने में देख डिफिकल्ट तो है डेफिनेटली, क्योंकि आपको रोज वो काम करना है. बट अगर आप पैशनेट हो तो वो एक मोटिवेशन की तरह काम करता है, तो विच इज एब्सोल्युटली
Yes.
राइट. अब मुझे ये क्वेश्चन ये पूछना था, एक ऐसे इंसान के लिए जो ज्यादा लिखता नहीं है, बुक रीड करना चाहता है, बट रीडिंग भी उसको लगता है कि यार डेली नहीं हो पा रही है, तो एक प्रोसेस कैसे स्टार्ट की जाए कि वो पहले बुक रीड करना सीखे, और फिर अगर ही इज पैशनेट अबाउट इट तो वो राइटिंग कैसे स्टार्ट करे, तो कुछ इसके लिए सजेशंस.
See, reading, I will say, if you choose a genre which interests you, that will automatically happen. The book will keep you hooked. The author definitely tries that they keep their readers hooked. So it is upon your interest. Pick a book of your interest. That is what I would suggest to the readers, because not every reader likes every type of book. Like I am someone who won't pick a murder mystery any day if given a chance. So that is something I would suggest, because then the book itself has the capability to keep you hooked. And reading schedules is something which should not be like a burden.
Correct.
It should, and it should not. Some of my friends who are ardent readers, okay, they have a fixed time. So morning 5 to 7 they read. That is their schedule. But then if some day is heavy, it is a tough day, they have had a bad day, what they'll do is they'll pick up the same book and raat ko bhi wo log book padhenge. So that is what is the magic of book. It will, if you are not in a mood to talk anyone, you will pick up the book and read. So it is not necessary कि आपका कोई fixed schedule हो. If you are passionate enough, you will pick up the book and read it. For writing, I'll say it does not come in the very first instant कि आपने 4 लाइन लिख दी और आपको ऐसे लग रहा है. हाँ, it will happen in some cases कि there will be some plot that will come to your mind and you'll think, okay, this is worthy of going in a book. But writing the outline, so what happens is, what I say is कि when we think, when some अब अगर कोई बुक का आइडिया आ रहा है तो it looks like a delicious biryani in our head, okay. When we start writing the first draft, then we realize ये सिर्फ चावल है. Then when we are done with the first draft and we try editing it, it looks like अच्छा इसमें अभी थोड़ा चिकन ऐड हो गया है. बट जब वो फाइनल वाला एडिटिंग होता है, जब उसका कवर उस पे आता है, एंड देन व्हेन यू आर एक्चुअली गोइंग टू पब्लिश इट, तब ऐसे लग रहा है कि हाँ, अब इसको पकाने के लिए रेडी है ये, तो कर सकते हैं. इट इज अ प्रोसेस, सो गो विद द फ्लो. आई वोंट से फोर्स योरसेल्फ. मेरे केस में ऐसे हो रहा है कि सिंस मे देयर आर 3 प्लॉट्स दैट आर डूइंग राउंड्स इन माय हेड कि अब बुक लिखनी है. लेकिन आई एम वेरी मच चिल्ड कि नहीं, मुझे लिखनी है तो मैं उसको आराम से लिखूंगी. आई एम नॉट फोर्सिंग माई सेल्फ कि मुझे लिखना है. Yes, there are people whose only source of income is writing, and I have come across people who write like 3-4 hours a day, and they are doing good for themselves, but then that is their choice and their priority.
Actually, correct, that is right. और अगर किसी को पब्लिश करनी है, मान लीजिए कि बुक लिख ली हमने, पर्सन इज पैशनेट और रीडिंग भी की, उसके बाद एक टाइम पीरियड के बाद बुक भी लिख ली, अब पब्लिश करना है, तो एक बिगिनर को तो उतना इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं रहता. आई नो यूट्यूब वगैरह और काफी चीजें हैं, बट अगर आप कुछ इस पे लाइट थ्रो करना चाहे तो.
See, I would say if you have patience and money, then go for traditional publishing. But if you're someone like me and you are less confident कि आप इतना invest कर दोगे, but you are not sure कि how the book will do in market, even if you get how much you have invested or not, इसके भी बारे में अगर आप sure नहीं है, तो आप self publishing कीजिए. And self publishing is very easy. I have published 6 books, and there's only one platform I name everywhere, that is Notion Press. And Notion has an option of express publishing, which is absolutely free. But the thing is, you have to do everything on your own. So being an author does not mean you only write. You have to be the book designer. You have to be the book formatter, like किस फॉर्मेट में आपकी बुक आनी चाहिए, सब वो इमेजेस, इलिस्ट्रेशंस जो भी है उसको प्रॉपर्ली अरेंज करना. So these are the skills you won't learn in the very first go. ये भी एक process ही है.
Correct.
सीखते सीखते गलतियां करके ही सीखेंगे. And the portal itself is very friendly. I would urge every listener here who is listening us right now to check Notion ka website, because many self-published authors, you know, with a very big heart, publish their works there. And it's not like I'm against big authors, but big authors have already made their names. So it is someone like us who need motivation right now. So yes, I would recommend कि आप Notion से try कीजिए self publishing. And then e-books के लिए भी काफी सारे platforms है, but I have made it available only on Kindle, which is worldly, you know, बहुत ज़्यादा broadly available है.
Correct.
Plus it is again easy to access. As a beginner, I also found it very difficult. Page breaks अलग अलग जगह पे हो रहे थे e-book के, but then after a lot of, you know, test and trial, it worked in the end. So these are the two. For paperback, there's a different platform, Notion Press, and for Kindle, I would recommend. For ebook, I'll recommend Kindle.
Kindle, right. अब जैसे मैंने ऐसा को पूछा था, किसी किसी को रीडिंग पसंद नहीं होती है, बट आई मीन आई थिंक सबको रीड करना चाहिए. बहुत नॉर्मल लाइफ में भी आपको बहुत जरूरत होती है. लाइक अगर इफ यू आर नॉट गुड एट स्पीकिंग इंग्लिश, तो अगर आप कुछ रीड करते हैं इंग्लिश में, तो आप यू नो वर्ड्स कैच करते हैं, वोकैबुलरी आपकी इंप्रूव होती है. तो देयर आर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स व्हिच यू कैन डू बाय रीडिंग अ बुक. बट किसी को रीडिंग उतनी पसंद नहीं है, बट वो चीजें यू नो ऑडियो के फॉर्म में सुन रहा है, सेम बुक ऑडियो के फॉर्म में सुन रहा है. देयर आर लॉट ऑफ एप्लीकेशन नाउअडेज. तो दोनों सिमिलर हैं या फिर विच वन इज बेटर? आई मीन कैसे कंपेयर किया जा सकता है इन चीजों को?
See, again, I would very strongly make my opinion here. Ki I am someone who would not any day go for an ebook, not would tune in into a podcast to listen an audiobook. मुझे वो बुक हाथ में जब तक मैं ना लूं और मैं पढूं ना, तब तक मुझे वो फील नहीं आती. I have to feel the pages. I have to, you know, scroll those pages and explore them. But if someone who is not very much into reading, audiobook is a good option for them. Many authors have, you know, made their books available on audiobook also.
Right.
And difference agar create karne ki baat hai, again it is a matter of choice, I would say.
Correct.
For someone like me, I won't go for an ebook or an audiobook any day. I would prefer a paperback. I would go ahead and, you know, buy it and read it. And again, this is the first time I'm saying this on an open platform. I am someone who is not very much into reading. So I have published 6 books, and recently I have read my 6th book. So ये मेरा ratio है. And in my case, it is difficult for me because मेरे से अगर reading करते वक्त link टूट जाए ना, तो मैं interest टूट जाता है मेरा.
Correct.
I want to read it in one go, otherwise I don't want to read it at all. And I want books wherein I can take out any page, read it for 10 minutes and then keep it.
Right.
अगर मेरे पास अभी 10 मिनट है, मैं पढ़ लूंगी उतना, ठीक है, that is one topic, हो गया अभी. And then I can switch to next topic whenever the next time I have to open that book. So these kind of books, I am someone who will not be able to read thick books. Big books, I can't read. All the 6 books that I have read are under 200 pages. So that is my reading capability. But then short things I am very much happy to read at. Like I read blogs very frequently and very religiously. There are some authors जिनके मैं blog personally भी follow करती हूँ. So that is something you can balance it out. अगर आप book लिख रहे हो and someone I was asked multiple times, आपने खुद तो book लिख लिया, आपने कितने books पढ़े हैं? And when I was asked this question, तब तक मैंने एक भी book नहीं पढ़ी थी. And that was like an eye opener कि, you know, I should be a reader also. If I'm looking to support my fellow authors, मैंने उनका काम भी पढ़ना चाहिए. It's not never one way.
Correct.
So that is the time I started reading, and the schedules are like that with an 8-year-old at home all the time. It was not possible for me to, you know, जब link टूट जाए तो मेरा interest चला जाता था. So that is the reason why I pick short books कि वो फटाक से पढ़ के खत्म हो जाए बस.
Right. And who is your favorite author, and which one is, I mean, top 3 books you can suggest? Which is your favorite?
Okay, so I won't brag, but I have read 3 books by Ruskin Bond. That is all because of my child. मतलब उसको पढ़ाते पढ़ाते, like मैंने अकेले individually I have read 6 books, but I am introducing Ruskin Bond to my son, and he is my favorite author. Top books, if you say, first one would be pick up any book by Sudha Murthy ma'am. I am manifesting to interview her someday on my podcast. Uh, reading her books makes me feel like I'm living in a different era because she's so simple and so down to earth. Ki abhi in 2023 it's very difficult to find a human like her. So any book by Sudha Murthy ma'am, and the rest 2 books are written by my friends, and they are written so well that I recommend it wherever I go. One is Being a Macho Man by Diksha Tripathi. She has broken all the stereotypes that are imposed on men through her poems in this book. And the third book is Birthing Me, which is Memoirs of a Trans Woman by Naina.
Okay.
And Naina is a trans woman. Last month was Pride Month, so all month I have been reading her book. So these are the 3 books I would recommend to anyone for reading.
Yeah, and are these available on Kindle or anywhere?
These are available on Amazon. Sudha Murthy ma'am's books are available everywhere. Possibly उनके audiobooks भी है. But Diksha's and Naina's book, I think they are only available in paperback format. They are not available in ebook.
Okay, perfect. और नीलश्री मैम का फ्यूचर के क्या प्लान्स हैं अभी? क्या आ रहा है नेक्स्ट अब?
There is a lot. So this year I am thinking to release 2 books of mine with remaining 2 editions of Authropod. As I said, with Authropod, my personal writings took a backseat. So now the situation is, even if the whole manuscript is ready, I find it difficult to sit and work on it to get it published. Itna tough schedule hai. So I just hope before December both the books come out, and both the editions of Authropod as well. अभी एक जो जुलाई में आएगा और एक जो अक्टूबर में आएगा. So yes, these for this year, this is the goal.
That's nice. So मैम मुझे क्वेश्चन पूछना था कि जैसे बहुत सारी लेडीज हाउसवाइफ होती हैं और उनको रीडिंग का शौक है, राइटिंग का शौक है, या फिर उनके पास बहुत सारे ऐसे चैलेंजेस होते हैं घर में जिसके कारण वो कुछ परस्यू नहीं कर पाती हैं, तो आप उसके बारे में कुछ कहना चाहेंगे कि वो कैसे अपने पैशन को फॉलो करें, कैसे अपना इंटरेस्ट फाइंड आउट करें?
See, interest finding is something, again, I would say, is a personal journey, very much personal journey. So as a school going girl, I used to write essays and I have won a lot of competitions. And that is something that helped me come back as a writer, as an author. But for a homemaker, I would say, if you're passionate about anything, be it crochet, being knitting, being hand embroidery, anything you are passionate about, start with dedicating 10 minutes of your day to it.
Okay.
I started like that, I started writing 5-10 lines, फिर paragraphs, फिर blogs, and this is how we grow. So your identity should never be dependent on others. So when you say someone calls you, okay, Mrs. Yelulkar, someone calls me Mrs. Yelulkar, okay, that is fine, that comes with a tag. वो name है, उसको कोई नहीं बदल सकता. But then the prefixes that come with your name are totally yours. You should rule those prefixes. You can add as many as you want. So when today I call myself, I'm an author. So that is a title that is not dependent on any other human. When I say myself, I feel happy when I'm said, your son is performing very well. You are doing well. You are raising him well. Okay, that is an achievement of a mother. But what about me? What have I achieved? So it is good to be, yes, good to be selfish at times. Practice individualism and खुद के लिए कम से कम दिन का 10 मिनट एटलीस्ट आप निकालिए अपने पैशन के लिए. You in a week's time, I challenge this and I can bet on anything you want. In a week's time, if you daily dedicate 10 minutes, second week में अगर वो 20 या 25 मिनट नहीं हुआ तो आप मेरा नाम बदल दीजिए. Because you're doing something you like, you definitely won't do less of it. आप ज्यादा ही करने का देखोगे उसको. There have been times before the release of my first book, You know, I have been doing this all on my own. I proudly add homemaker to my title because everything at the home is being managed by me. I do it single handedly. And the other thing is, before the release of my first book, my son was teething and he was very bad in health. You know, he was not in a good shape. There were times when I have slept only for 2 hours a night, 1 week before the release of my book, just to get it done. So that is how your passion fuels you.
Correct.
If
तो
you are
start with
passionate enough, you will end up finding ways. और आजकल तो वैसे भी social media, you know, there are so many options and platforms open. Phone तो आजकल सभी के पास है, so
सभी के पास
why
है।
not use it for a better purpose?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely correct. I'm with you on this कि आप छोटे से स्टार्ट कीजिए एनीथिंग आई मीन कोई भी इंटरेस्ट हो आप वो 10 मिनट्स के लिए स्टार्ट कीजिए एंड देन आपका ऑटोमेटिकली उसमें इंटरेस्ट डेवलप होता है एंड देन इट विल कन्वर्ट इनटू अ पैशन और फिर आप अपने आप वो 12 आवर्स 10 आवर्स जो है वो खुद से निकालना पसंद करते हैं। आई एग्री विद
Yes.
दैट पॉइंट। आई मीन बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला मैम आपसे आज इस पॉडकास्ट पे बुक्स के बारे में। मतलब मैंने भी अभी रिसेंटली ये सब चीजें स्टार्ट की है बुक रीड करना। मैं रात में 10 मिनट्स की बुक रीड करता हूँ ताकि मेरे को थॉट्स में भी ड्रीम्स में भी वैसे ही थॉट्स आए। तो बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला आज आपसे। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दिस वैल्यूएबल इंफॉर्मेशन।
I am glad that you know, through this platform, my thoughts will be able to reach many years. So thank you for this opportunity, and I wish you all the best with your venture and lots of success.
सेम टू यू मैम, सेम टू यू मैम। थैंक यू।
Thank you.
आई होप आपको ये वीडियो अच्छा लगा होगा और ऐसे ही वीडियो को अगर आप चाहते हैं कि और मिले आपको देखने के लिए, सो लाइक कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए, सब्सक्राइब कीजिए। थैंक यू।